What if I told you that the biggest threat to one of America's last big cats wasn't hunters or habitat loss, but a simple strip of asphalt running straight through its home? Picture this. A sleek, powerful predator moves silently through the cypress swamps of southern Florida. It's midnight. The Florida panther, ghost of the glades, survivor of centuries, is on the hunt. But between it and its prey lies a barrier it never evolved to understand. A four-lane highway buzzing with cars. In the 1990s, this scene played out in tragedy again and again. Panthers were being hit by vehicles at an alarming rate. With fewer than 30 individuals left in the wild, every death pushed the entire species closer to extinction. The Florida panther wasn't just dying out, it was being erased, one road collision at a time. But then something remarkable happened. Biologists, engineers, and ordinary citizens came together to build what many thought was impossible. A lifeline for the panther, woven right through the landscape it called home. To understand why roads became such a deadly trap, we need to go back to what made the Florida panther so vulnerable in the first place. These cats once roamed across the entire southeastern United States, from Arkansas to South Carolina. But as human settlements expanded, panthers were pushed further and further south, until the only population left was isolated in the swamps and pine forests of southern Florida. That isolation created two big problems: inbreeding, which led to genetic defects, and habitat fragmentation. Panthers need huge territories. Males can require up to 200 square miles. But roads, farms, and cities carved their world into small, disconnected islands. To find food, mates, and new territory, panthers had to cross highways. And that's where the trouble began. By the early 1990s, vehicle strikes had become the leading cause of death for adult panthers. Each loss was catastrophic. One particularly devastating year, 8 panthers were killed on roads, nearly a third of the entire population. The situation seemed hopeless. You can't teach a panther to look both ways. You can't reroute millions of cars. But a small team of wildlife experts refused to accept that extinction was inevitable. They asked a radical question. What if, instead of trying to change the panther's behavior, we changed the road? The solution emerged from an unexpected place. Europe, wildlife crossings, bridges and tunnels designed specifically for animals, had been used there for decades to help creatures like bears and lynxes safely cross highways. Could the same idea work in Florida? The first step was identifying the most dangerous stretches of road. Researchers used radio collars to track panther movements and mapped every collision. They discovered that panthers weren't crossing roads randomly. They used natural pathways along drainage ditches, creeks, and forest edges. These were their ancient travel corridors, now severed by pavement. The team proposed building a series of wildlife underpasses, large, landscaped tunnels beneath the busiest highways. Skeptics called it a waste of money. Would panthers actually use them? There was only one way to find out. The first underpasses were constructed in the mid-1990s along Alligator Alley, a deadly stretch of Interstate 75 that cut straight through panther habitat. The design was simple but brilliant: wide, open tunnels planted with native vegetation on either end to create a natural funnel effect. Motion sensor cameras were installed to monitor activity. For the first few months, nothing. Then one night, a shadowy figure appeared on camera, a mature male panther slipping silently through the underpass. Then another, and another. Not only were panthers using the crossings, they were using them frequently. Within a year, panther road kills in that area dropped by over 90%. The underpasses worked better than anyone had dreamed, but the story doesn't end there. As panther numbers slowly began to recover thanks to genetic restoration from introducing Texas cougars, a new challenge emerged. Success, more panthers meant more young cats dispersing into new territories and more encounters with roads outside the protected corridor system. The solution had to evolve. Wildlife agencies began working with private landowners to create safe passage on smaller roads. They installed fencing to guide animals toward existing underpasses. They added wildlife reflectors and warning signs for drivers. They even built specialized panther crossings on rural routes where underpasses weren't feasible. Each innovation was tailored to the panther's behavior. Because saving a species means understanding how it sees the world today, there are over 50 wildlife crossings in Florida designed with panthers in mind. These structures don't just benefit panthers, they've become safe passage for bobcats, deer, bears, even tortoises. The panther population has rebounded from fewer than 30 to more than 200 adults. Road mortality still occurs, but it's no longer threatening the species' existence. The Florida panther's comeback represents something profound, that humans and wild predators can coexist, even in a rapidly developing landscape. It proves that sometimes, the most advanced conservation technology isn't a satellite or a DNA sequencer. It's a simple tunnel built with compassion and foresight that allows wildness to persist right beside our modern world. What other animal species do you think could be saved with creative solutions like wildlife crossings? Share your ideas in the comments. We might feature one in a future video.